Welcome to episode 36 of Knits and Pieces. Mm-hmm. I'm Kelly, and this is my friend
Noelle.
We are a multi-crafting, mostly knitting podcast coming to you from Southern Ontario, Canada. And today is January the 26th, and we are...
It's the 28th.
I wrote the notes on the 26th.
Okay.
I was prepared for this 2 days ago. We are in deep freeze in Ontario, so this is
the woolies.
The woolies, lots of woolies.
Yep.
So it's a good night to settle in for a podcast and a visit and catch up.
Yes. So we should probably go through some admin stuff first.
We have some.
Yes.
And we have prizes to give away too.
Yeah, we have we have one cal that's finished up. That was our last year's sock cal, which basically ran from the beginning of January last year until December 31st. And we had 1,660 pairs of socks in there. No, it would be 1,659 because the first post would have been the instructions.
Yours.
Right?
Yes.
But still, that's amazing.
That's a lot of socks.
That's a lot of socks.
That's a lot of socks.
Yeah, and I've seen some nice patterns in there that I've had to add into my queue, and beautiful sock yarn in there. Very inspirational. So if you want to just get some ideas, just go through some of the finished objects from last year, and there's amazing projects in there.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So the way the sock cal works is that you enter your socks, and we, starting from the beginning of the year, every month when we draw at the end of the month, your socks from the beginning of the year are included as well. So January is always everybody's best opportunity to win because there's the least amount of socks in there. And then as the pool grows throughout the year, you still have chances all the way through.
Yeah.
And
so the more socks that you knit, the more chances that you have, because they'll always be included. The only ones that can't win are ones that have already won a previous prize.
Right.
And that's the socks. Doesn't mean you can't win 2 times. Just one pair of socks can only win once.
And if you had some socks on the go in 2021 that you didn't get finished, you can finish them this year and add them in. It's just, it matters when you finished, not when you started. So
we're going to draw first of all, we're going to draw our December prizes.
Yes.
So we have a pattern prize from Natalie of Remembrances Pottery, and then we've also got a sock prize. So,
do you want to start with the pattern?
Yeah.
Okay. We did a random number generator, and all of these images, we'll put these up on the screen for you.
Yes.
So the winner of the pattern from Natalie is number 324, which is PG Chambers and first name Paige.
Yes.
Yay, congratulations.
Yep. So, okay. And then the second prize for December is a set of sock yarn from Full Moon Fibers.
Yes.
So Kelly's going to show you that.
So this colorway is As the Moon Turns and High Vis. And I'm guessing this orange is the High Vis because it is pretty. And I'm going to get bad lighting here because it's picking it right up off the top light. It's not nearly as bright orange as you're seeing.
It's more like creamsicle
color.
color.
Hold it back here.
Yeah, that looks closer.
Yeah, closer. It's so it's a sock set, and it's called the Lucky 50/50 sock set. So you get 50 grams of each color. So you can choose to pair that up into socks however you want. You can do striping.
Or you could probably get 2 pairs of shorties.
Yeah, you probably could.
Yeah.
You could do heels and toes of each one, and then you could get 2 pairs. So anyway, so that's what we have. Full Moon Fibers is dyer in Ontario as well.
Yeah, in Barrie. So that prize goes to number 1491, which is Tamara Farm Girl.
Yay, Tamara! Yay. Congratulations!
Congratulations! So. Okay, and then because it was so amazing to see all those socks in there, we wanted to kind of have a grand prize for the year.
Mm-hmm.
So we picked another random number, and that number was number 1644. And that is Nana K Knits, who is Karen. And Kelly's going to show me what she's won.
Karen has won this lovely prize. Actually, this is the Ginger Snap Pixel set, and it's the Pixel mini set in puffy fingering. It's patina. That's the colorway.
The color, yes.
So You're getting, how did this get sorted out now?
Well, I think these are 35 grams each. And then I think these are 20 each.
Okay.
Right? Because that would be called 110. That's what it says. It's a total of 110
grams. Yeah. And this is another Canadian dyer. This is Kim and Colin out west. And it's beautiful, beautiful yarn. It's a gorgeous, I don't know if I can get that one in a good color or a good light so that you can see it, but it's really pretty.
Yeah, and you can kind of mix up your heels and toe color. I know when I knit mine, I did my heel actually. Remember, I did my heel half one color and half the other color, and it looked really nice. I really like that. But you've got definitely enough there for your cuffs, your heels, and your toes.
And I think the way that if I remember correctly, the way she dyes these is that it's pixelated, and it goes from, it isn't just a speckle. It actually fades. So the pixel has the teal and cream, and then it will fade into the gold color and cream. So you choose where you want your heels or which way you want to do it.
If you want to do them both the same, then make sure that you start from the same end.
Yes.
Like the same color end. Or if you want them different, you can do them opposite
flip them
too.
And do, yeah. But anyway, it's a beautiful set.
It is. It's nice yarn. It's nice and soft. And
It is. It's really soft.
Yeah, so congratulations to all of our winners. So for anybody that we've mentioned here, you can get in touch with Kelly or myself either on Ravelry or through our Instagrams, a DM on Instagram. Or we could put the Gmail address down here too.
I can do that.
Yep, we'll put the Gmail. It's nitsandpiecespodcast@gmail.com. You can also use that if you're not on Ravelry. Well, you must be on Ravelry if you're in here for these. So
whatever is easiest.
Whatever works best for you.
Yeah, just get in touch with us, and I'll get that mailed out to you.
Yeah. Okay.
Awesome.
So we should probably talk about our ongoing Cal. It's almost over. It's a few more days left.
There's a couple less days since I thought it was still the 26th, but
well, there's still 3 days. You can do a pair of mitts and a hat.
Yeah. You've got some time to finish up.
So that one is our warm winter woolies. We've had to think about that every single time we say it.
Every single time.
We'll just call it WWW. It's our WWW warm winter woolies make along. And that was for any items that you make that are outdoor winter accessories. Yes. So hats, mitts, gloves, cowls, leg warmers, scarves, headbands, hand warmers,
fingerless mitts.
Yes, and we also said because it's an accessory, it could also be attire for your pets.
Yes, it could. Yes, puppy coats count. So we were running that until January 31st.
Yep.
And then we will have a draw for that. So that'll be on the next podcast that we'll announce that.
Yes. But because February 1st will come before we have our next podcast, we also want to introduce our next Cal. And this Cal is going to run from February 1st until March the 31st. And we're going to call it Smash Your Stash.
Smash that stash.
Smash that stash. Look, smash. Okay, we just got rid of warm winter woolies. We're going to do smash
another
that
make along
stash.
That is going to be hard for us to remember, but this is a great opportunity. Deep dive if you want. There are some rules that go along with this one though. So rule number 1 is that it must be in your stash by the end of 2021. So the year that just ended, it must have already been stashed. So don't go out and buy stash to smash your stash.
That's
it has to be in the
stash.
And also, since this one is a stash dive, we want to encourage you to stash dive. So no whips allowed for this one. And the project of your making has to be 50 grams or more.
Yeah.
So those are the 3 rules.
That's right. Anything else, as long as you use 50 grams or more, you can make as many items as you want. And
every item that you make counts
yes,
as an entry.
Yep. So we're not telling you what to make. You can make whatever you want. Just we want you to use that stash.
So you could typically double dip this one too, because for instance, if you made socks,
oh yeah, you could put it in the sock
put an entry in the sock cal and in the smash that stash.
That's right. It's gonna be 2 long months saying smash that stash.
Smash that stash.
I have to think of it every time I say it to get the words out right.
We'll talk more about this in our Tuesday knit chats too, I know, and we will get a hashtag going on Instagram.
Yeah.
And we're not going to say what the hashtag is now because by Tuesday we'll have forgotten and we'll change it anyway.
That's right.
So we'll announce it on our knit chat on Tuesday night.
Yes.
And while we're talking about knit chat, we should talk about knit chat.
Okay.
First rules of knit chat is everybody should talk about knit chat. It's not a secret. Knit chat is what we do on Tuesday evenings on our YouTube channel at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And it is a very informal session. Just think of us as your local coffee shop knit group.
You're going to the Knit Chat Cafe.
The Knit Chat Cafe. Yes, that's right. That's what I knew there was a word last week that we came up with that we want to stick. And we're getting quite a few people in there now.
Yes, it's a lot of fun.
It is a lot of fun.
We usually talk about knitting. We do usually talk about knitting.
We can promise there will be talk about knitting, but there will also be talk about other things.
Yes, we kind of tend to diverge into different topics.
And we never know where the conversation is going because it is viewer-led.
That's right.
So you're able to, if you're on a device where you have a keyboard, you're able to talk to us and ask us some questions. And if we don't know the answer, I guarantee you that some of the people in that room are going to know the answer.
That's right.
And really knowledgeable
if it's a knitting question, whatever our answer is may not be the only answer that's out there either, because there's multiple ways to do things when you're knitting anything.
Absolutely.
So, but the group is very interactive and
very friendly. Everybody's welcome.
Yep.
Yeah, it's great because we see so many side conversations going on too. So people have become friends in there. They didn't realize that they live so close to another knitter, so now they're friends on Knit Chat and friends in real life.
That's right.
Real life.
That's right. So if you have a chance, join us. We'd love to chat with you on Tuesdays.
Absolutely, we would. Yes. Okay.
Okay.
That should take us on the list to what we're wearing.
Oh, okay.
And we never plan what we're wearing.
We never plan it.
We just show up with what we're wearing. And tonight we ended up showing up wearing items that have the same yarn in them. And
the same yarn color.
Same yarn color. Not planned. Nope. Not planned at all. Well, same yarn company.
Same yarn color. Oh, yeah. It's exactly the same.
Yeah,
it's just a different weight.
Yes. So I'm wearing the Bobble Shawl by Andrea Mowry, and I used 3 different types of yarn. So the burgundy is Sublime, the gold is Utopia, and then the third one, which happens to be the one that we're sharing, is Hedgehog Fibers in colorway Artifact.
Artifact, yeah.
Yes. So this was my first brioche project, and it's one of my favorite shawls. I do reach for it a lot, and I love the way the brioche shows up.
Yeah, I really like that brioche.
Yeah, it's really pretty. And it was fun because there was, lots of things going on. So this was the most difficult, I guess. I don't want to say difficult. It wasn't difficult, but this was the most detailed brioche. So up here you have brioche as well, but it's syncopated brioche, so it's pretty straightforward. Yep. Once you've figured out how to do it, you can just get going through it. And then it had this really nice lace panel that's in here too, and finished off with this. And then there are these baubles. Now, this is not a fault of the pattern. It's my yarn choice, I guess. This was it was all fingering, but this was a little bit on the thin side of a fingering, so my baubles are a little flat, but I still really like it.
Yeah, I really like it.
It's a pretty shawl. It's a huge shawl. There's
I think
a
that
lot
was
more
that
hanging
was
at the back.
I think that was what you were knitting like one of the first times that I met you.
Was it?
I think so.
No, I don't think so.
Yes, because you were knitting it when we actually were at a real coffee shop. Remember?
Oh! I thought you meant when I first met you, like when I met you, but you mean when we met together to knit together. Yes, you're right. Yes. Yep. And it took me a long time to do a row because I had a hard time following a pattern and talking.
Knitting and
visiting.
And drinking coffee.
Yes,
coffee.
and getting to know each other. So
Latte.
Yes, yes. Okay. And what are you wearing?
I am wearing the Magnolia Chunky Cardi by Camilla Vad. And my base yarn is Hedgehog Fibers Merino DK in the Artifact colorway. So it's exactly the color of Kelly's. Mm-hmm. But I held 2 strands of silk mohair, like a 70-30 silk mohair with it. So it's kind of like, you can see mine looks a little bit lighter. So the mohair has lightened it up. But this cardi is, I'll just stand up, it's just like a little cropped cardigan. Super warm because of the mohair and the merino. I don't often knit sweaters with superwash yarn just because they tend to stretch. But when you hold a mohair with it, and especially in this case because I'm holding 2 strands of mohair with it, it kind of gives the yarn a little bit more structure. So
it's really pretty.
Thanks. I wear this a lot. This color goes with everything because it's kind of like a taupey color with all sorts of little bits of pops of color in it. And
it is. It's a great colorway.
Yep.
So this was a single, actually in the fingering weight.
Yes.
And
then mine is a DK and it's applied yarn.
Yes. But it's a great colorway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do really like this colorway. Yeah. So so it's neutral, but just with that little pop of color. So
and it goes with a lot.
Yep. Okay. So it's been we didn't the last time we podcast was before Christmas, so I think it was
December the 17th.
Yeah, so it's been a while.
It's been a minute.
So some of the things that we both have in finished objects we have already shipped out.
Yes.
So
all right, so let's move into finished objects.
Okay. Okay, so I guess the first thing we'll talk about in finished objects is our hats.
Yes.
So if you watched Knit Chat, I think it was the Tuesday after Christmas, we did the pajama party knit chat. So someone had suggested on one of the knit chats that we should have matching hats for it.
Yes. And I had made one of these for Miles.
Right.
And he was super cute in it too. Mm-hmm. So as part of my Christmas gift, I have hairpins at the back. It'll get stuck.
But it is a cute hat.
It is a cute hat. So as part of my Christmas gift this year, Noelle knit me a hat too. And we wore them. And I really liked it. And I've worn it since.
Yeah, I really like it too. So this hat is, it's a free pattern. It's called...
Christmas
Kelly, what was
Elf
it called?
Cap.
I think it's Christmas Elf Stocking Cap.
Christmas Elf
Cap. Okay. And it's by Regina Sada.
No.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. That's why I'm wrong. I'm reading the wrong thing.
Stick to the script.
Okay.
It's by Fox and Pine Stitches.
Right, and I have that.
Yes, and it is a free pattern, as Noelle mentioned. And the nice thing about this pattern is that it goes all the way from 0 to 3 months is the smallest size, and it goes all the way up to an adult hat.
And I think I did add an extra little bit in here because I wanted them like a little bit longer to turn over. But that yarn is Loops and Threads Impeccable. And the colors are, the green is Forest Green. The burgundy color is called Claret. And then the cream color is their Aran. And that's, I made those 2 hats and I don't even think I've got enough to knit 2 or 3 more hats.
I know.
So
but surprisingly, they're really cozy and warm. And yeah, I really like it. So
and I should say for the pom-pom.
Oh yeah.
So I just have the Clover pom-pom makers, but I put the pom-pom on just with a button. So you just make your pom-pom, and then you can just kind of thread the yarn that you've wrapped around to tie the pom-pom, just thread it through a button and tie it, and you get a really nice tight join there when you do that. Plus then if you don't want to put the pom-pom through the wash, if you're washing the hat, you can take it off and put it on again.
Or we should say you definitely don't want to put the pom-pom
No.
on through the wash.
No,
It may not come out.
not come out as a pom pom, and your washing
It
machine
may just be a
will
lot
not
of
be
really
happy.
small pieces of yarn. No, exactly. But thank you
So,
very much for
you're
making
welcome.
this.
So we have to keep those for our next pajama party, Christmas pajama party.
For sure. Maybe
So.
the Christmas in July.
Yeah,
pajama party
yeah,
too.
that's a good idea.
Okay.
Okay, so
I have 4. How many do you have?
3.
Okay. So also like Noelle, none of my knitted projects are here tonight. So they'll just be pictures going in. So the first little finished object that I had was called the Little Dino by Susan B. Anderson. And I'll have a picture in here for you. And this is a little, it's a stuffy toy pattern that I made for my grandson Miles. And I used the Drops Alpaca Mix yarn for it. I can show you those. And this was colorway 7815, which is Forest. It's quite a dark green. And then I've got 2916, which is a bright lime. And
They look cute together.
they're so soft.
Yeah.
It's
Oh, I know, that
such
alpaca
soft
is.
yarn. So I bought this from Wool Warehouse, and very inexpensive yarn, perfect for children's stuffies. And the pattern that Susan B puts together, that's her second little animal now that I've knit for Miles, and I really enjoy the patterns. They're good detail. She has photograph instructions too if you need help with something, but they're clear and they're detailed, and even though it was just a tiny little animal, I think the pattern was 4 or 5 pages long.
Wow.
And it was super fun to make. And then there was the little applique shells, I guess.
Okay.
That I had to. That was a new technique I had to learn to do. And so she always brings a little something to the pattern and a little bit of embroidery
Yep.
on the face. So it was fun. And I'm not sure what I'm going to make him next. Probably a little bunny for Easter. And
There's a lot of cute little bunny patterns.
there are a lot of
Yeah.
cute little bunny patterns. And so he's probably going to have quite a little collection in his room by the time I'm done. Yeah.
Okay, so my next finished object, I don't have it here. It was the antler cardigan and the toque, and it was for a baby gift, but like for a 2-year-old. So I actually did the size 2 to 4, and I did it in, what was it? It was the Lion brand woolies, and the color was called Icicle. So it was kind of like a pale bluey gray. It was actually a lot like the color of your
sweater.
Of your sweater that you
Yes.
just finished. Yep. So it turned out really cute. I had little, I don't know if they were butterflies. I don't have the picture in front of me. Kelly will put a picture in, but little, I think they were butterflies that went down the front because it was for a little girl. And yeah, it turned out really cute and had a little pom-pom on the top. I just used a pom-pom off. I had bought like a keychain at Michael's that had 3 little pom-poms on them that are the perfect size for a kid's hat. So I had just put that on it and sewed it on. So
Is
it was
that
a fun knit. It's Tin Can Knits. I don't know if I said that.
Yeah, I was going to say that, Tin Can Knits.
Yep.
And so that's another one of those situations where the pattern goes all the
Yep.
way from
Newborn.
Is it a newborn?
Yeah, it goes. It's
Okay.
like I think the smallest size is like it's either 0 to 3 or 0 to 6 months.
Okay.
So
And all the way to
like
to adult.
yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's great value when you buy that pattern because you're definitely going to have more than one use on it.
Yes. Yeah, and it's a really cute pattern, and it's a really nice, I think, wearable cardigan because it's not too fussy or frilly, but it's got a nice little cable pattern around the neck, and it just works up quickly because it's in a worsted to Aran weight yarn. So
Okay, so the next project I had, also not here. We should have filmed this before Christmas came and we gave everything away. Was the Wee Lima sweater. And again, this was a little sweater for Miles. And it's a free pattern by Tagga Hilliard. And I made that in the Chroma Twist worsted by Knit Picks in the colorway Ponderosa. So it had 218 yards. I didn't weigh what I have left, but let's just say I did not have much left. And because it is a fade yarn,
yep.
Once you cast off, or not cast, but you put stitches on hold for the sleeves, I was super fussy about that. I wanted the sleeves to match. So it took a little bit of yarn management yarn finagling, but I managed to get everything really pretty similar. And I really, really liked this yarn. And it is a super wash with 30% nylon in it. So
Okay.
it is, it will hold together nicely for a sweater for a child. And I'm also thinking like it would be nice for hats.
Well, it's got 30% nylon, like a lot of people do worsted weight socks. So with that nylon in it, it's going to have enough strength
To hold together
Yep.
for socks, yeah. But it was, I had only one skein of it. It was something that I bought on discount. I just kind of liked the color. And also in the picture that I put in of Miles and the sweater, he was wearing these little pants, and I made the pants for him too.
Yeah.
They're the little
Harem
harem pants
pants,
by
yeah.
Brindle and Twig. So, okay.
Okay, so my next finished object I don't have here with me either. It was a pair of socks. It was just plain vanilla socks, and they were done in the Rose Hill yarns, and that was the sets that come with 50 grams of the main color and then 20 grams of your contrast color. And so I used I didn't have a whole lot of it left. The color is called Ice Cream Sprinkles, and it's a really pretty white with like little just pops of like a lime green and a pink, and very pretty. And then the heel, toe, and the cuff were done in the fuchsia yarn. And it was just a plain 64 stitch sock. I believe that I did an afterthought heel. Oh yeah, that was the thing I was going to talk about. The afterthought heel. So when I do the afterthought heel, normally when Kelly and I do them, we would put in waste yarn and not knit it in, we thread it in.
Yes.
So that you can go back and actually cut. So it's you're not,
Well,
because you could
do
move
a-
it if you wanted to.
You do a row with waste yarn, and then you knit a row plain, and then you do your next row
and
with
put the waste yarn through it. Yeah.
so that you've got a row in between, and that's where you make your cut to unravel.
Yes.
So then before you make your cut, you pick up the waste yarn rows onto 2 new needles to
Yep.
do your heel, and then you cut the row in between, unravel it, and work from your live stitches.
Yes.
And Noelle came up with this super hack. Carry on.
Well, okay. So I thought, well, I'm doing that, and I've got to go back in, and I've got to put a needle through it. Well, I've got lots of sock needles. I thought, why don't I just put my needle through it, and then it's going to be right on the cord already. So I wish I had a sock here where I could show you, but I don't have one
have a
at that
sock.
point. Do you have a sock?
I always have a sock. There we go. There's
Okay.
a sock.
So what you would do is you would get to this point, and that's where you're going to put your heel in. So once you do that first row, then you're going to take your needle and you're going to thread it along the cord. You're going to push them onto the cord first so that you've got enough space to thread your new needle through. Then slide the stitches down onto that cord. So at that point, you're going to have 2 cords in that row, right? But then when you come around and knit your regular row, then you're going to knit 1 more row, then you're going to do the same thing. And then you're going to have those heel stitches right on your cord. So all you've got to do is when you go to do the heel is take your scissors and you snip the 1 stitch in the middle, and then
Pluck it apart.
pluck it apart, and then you're ready to go for your heel. So like I do that now. I'll get down to here, I'll put my needle in for the heel, I'll knit a few more rows, and then I actually go back and do the heel. Because if the heel's already done before you get to the end of the sock, it's a lot easier to measure what your distance is as opposed to trying to measure it just from putting in the waste yarn.
That's right. So then it's almost more of the concept of like the heel flap and gusset. So when you're done your sock, you're done your sock.
That's right. And I really
So-
like it to be when I'm done the sock.
So
I'm
it's
done the
basically
sock.
called an afterthought heel, but now maybe you need to rename it and call it a mid-thought heel because you're doing
Well,
it
it's
kind of
a-
halfway through the sock, right?
It's a
It's a forethought afterthought.
Yeah, it's a forethought after heel. You thought about it before, but you do it after you get past the heel thing.
That's right.
Right.
Yes.
But you're right. But if you do it in the middle, then it's a forethought after mid-heel.
Think of a hashtag for that.
No.
But it's a great idea.
But anyways, I've done it a couple of times, and it's a little fiddly till you get used to it. It works better if you've got the Chigu needles that have the really thin
Really thin
cord. Like I
cords,
think they're
yeah.
called their mini cords because then they don't take up as much space when you pull it through.
Right.
But
Right.
but yeah, rather than have to go back and pick up all the stitches again, you're basically doing that all in one step instead of going back again and having to pick them up again. So
It is a great hack, for sure.
okay.
Okay, and then the last objects I have are not knitting. And I have them here because they haven't been shipped out yet. So I did some more sewing for Miles. Miles is just getting all the things. All the things. So I started making these little jumpers
So cute.
for him. And I know it kind of looks like you must be thinking he has such a long body, but these are not meant to go like basically to the crotch. So it's not their full leg. They're called harem. It's a harem style coverall. So it's kind of like a drop crotch.
Yeah.
Think about the MC Hammer pants, you know, when he was like moving across the stage. So then this is just a little sleeveless version. And the nice thing about these coveralls is that they just go on over the
Yeah.
body. They're stretchy that way. So there's no snaps, no buttons, nothing. And this is actually, it's a really nice fabric. It's a minky. So inside it's
Yeah,
furry.
I know.
I want a pair,
Yeah.
right? So I made him these with the little mice, and then I decided I'd make him a long sleeve version too. And then, so this actually looks like knitwear. Somebody
It does. It does look like knit.
So when I saw the fabric in the store, I thought that kind of looks like, you know,
Scandinavian
Nordic,
kinda,
Scandinavian,
yeah.
yeah. So and I've made him. I have another color in green, and I made him. Well, that's.
Was that the pants?
I did make him pants, but that's not what he was wearing with the sweater. He was
Okay.
wearing those in a different color. So
Okay.
he's gotten 2 pairs of pants, and now he's getting 2 little coveralls. So the patterns I'm using for these, it's called Brindle and Twig, and these are the harem overhauls, which are pattern number 97. And much like the tin can knits, when you buy this pattern, I think this goes all the way from a newborn up to like, I think a size 6.
Okay.
A child size
Yep.
6, so you're getting a long-standing pattern.
Yeah.
And they're not that expensive, and they have sales on frequently too. So anyway, so I'm having some fun sewing little garments, and they're quick, and I can honestly, like, I can make one of these in a half an
I
hour
know, compared
as
to
opposed
knitting. I
to
know.
days of knitting to make him a little sweater. So yeah.
Okay. So my last finished object I actually have.
Yay.
So I'm going to put it on. Put one of them on. Okay. So these are, and I do have 2. So they are finished. So these are the Crazy Parrot gloves, and they are by Regina Sada. And this is done in Timber Yarns, twin sock. This is a color that Heather from Timber Yarns dyed for our Zoomer group. So there were 11 of us in the group, and we all picked out our favorite color from her list of all of her semi-solids. So
This one's me.
that's Kelly.
And
Kelly's,
look, he's wearing the gold. It's almost the same color.
yeah. And then
that's my
this
color.
this one at the top, this pink, that's me.
Yes.
Okay, so I did these socks. So I've got my color down at the bottom, because what she did was she gave us a set of twin socks, but then we also each got a mini of the color that we picked.
Our own color.
Our own
right.
color. So that's me. And then this one that I put at the cuff here was Heather, since she made the yarn, so she's close to my heart. And then for all my other ones, everybody got a different finger color with my color up at the top of it. So those were a lot of fun to make. Like, and I really like the pattern. Like it's
fun. It's really
ribbed.
fun.
It's goes nice and high up your wrist, and it just snugs your wrist up nicely. Like, I really like them. And I mean, okay, I will admit gloves are a little bit fiddly when you get to all of the
Well, they're a lot
the
fiddly.
colors. Well, especially these ones were, because I had all those ends to sew in where I changed colors on
Yes.
each of the.
Yes.
But I'm really pleased with how they turned out.
Well, they're one of a kind. That's for
They
sure.
are. They are. Whoops. No one is going to have gloves.
Nobody
like
is going to have those gloves.
So.
Yes. And thank you, Heather, for dyeing
Yeah,
that.
thanks, Heather. It's gorgeous yarn. They feel great. Mm-hmm. I
So
really
pretty.
do like that ribbed pattern.
I'm glad you didn't give me a middle finger.
I thought about it.
I bet you did. Those are
Okay.
fun. Super fun.
Okay.
You've
So
got, is that it for you?
that's it for finished objects. Yep.
My gosh, we get through we get through FOs really quickly when we don't have them here, don't we?
Yes, I know, because then you forget about what you were going to say about it.
I know.
Anyway.
Oh, I did forget something. I had even made a note. Going back to my little, I'll put another picture in so you can see what I was talking about, because I did take a close-up picture on the detail. I did make a modification on the pattern. I didn't do the standard raglan increases. I changed that a little bit, and instead of using like, I think she just did a stitch and then she wanted you to knit into the front and then the back to
Okay.
do the increases. I decided to eliminate that, and I just did the make one left and make one right on either side of the little raglan marker, and that's how I got this little sort of an eyelet effect for the sleeves. So yeah, so I see I did have something to say that I had done.
I'm sure I've forgotten something, but
Yeah, if you have it in front of you, it's easier to
I know
remember.
it's easier to look at it and say, okay, this is what I did. But when you're thinking, what did I do on that?
I know. And it was a while ago too, right? 'Cause
Yes.
everything
Well,
is-
yes, that's right.
It's kind of like once it's knit and gone, it's out of mind.
Yep.
Unless you have it to wear, and
Yeah.
we have none of these things to wear. They're not ours.
No, because, well, I guess those two, the hat and the gloves, were mine. But basically, most of December's knitting was all gifts. Mm-hmm. So,
As it should be.
yep.
But we're into January, and it's all about us again.
I might have cast on a few things.
So why don't we dive in and we can start talking about whips?
Okay. Okay. So, how many whips do you have?
I have 3.
Okay. I have 5.
You can start then.
Okay. Okay. Well, I think in the last episode, I did talk about the fact that I was going to do the Lucky Dip Cal again,
Yes.
and that I was pretty sure I had enough patents Croy to be able to do a pair for each of my family members.
And then some.
And then some. And I was right. I did. I did have enough. So I've started my first pair. Well, I finished one sock, and we only have 3 days left of January.
Oh, get busy. Get busy.
Okay, so this is my first sock in the Croy. This pattern is called Cardamom Tea. It's by Emily Weller, and this is a free pattern on Ravelry. It's done in the Croy, and the color is called Bramble Stripes. This heel is done in it is still Patents Croy, and it's a 4-ply, but this heel is yarn that I got it's got to be at least 25 years ago.
Really?
Yes. Not the Bramble Stripes, just the gray. Because they weren't into making all of these sorts of things back. Mm-hmm. But yes. So it works
Wow.
well with it.
Well, it doesn't feel like 25-year-old yarn.
No. So I am smashing that stash.
Smash that stash.
Anyway, so that's the first sock. I'm supposed to do 1 pair a month. This pair might get finished in February because I got so busy casting on other things that I got the first sock done. And it was like, yeah, they're going to be fine. And then
And then you got
And then
busy
what
with
else
all
can
the
I
other
start?
things. I know,
That's right.
But it's a really pretty colorway.
it is.
though.
I do really like the color. I did have to do some yarn management for the second sock. I've got it ready to start. So I had to, you can see the ball's kind of messed up there, but I had to roll some yarn off so that I could start at the same spot. And this ball was actually wound in the opposite direction
Yeah.
of that ball. So you've got to watch that when you're working with Croy. So there's the amount that I pulled off. And I've got another little bit at home too, but I know by weighing this that there's not going to be quite enough here to do the whole sock. But I know that when I get down to the heels and toes, I've got enough. It might not be this one. It might be one that was left from the other sock. But I know that I've got enough left in the right colors to finish off the toe in the same colors.
Yeah.
So it was a little bit of yarn management and cutting it to get it to match up. Now, if it doesn't bother you whether the socks are perfectly matched or not, you're fine. But I
It
sort
would-
of like
it would
them to
bother
be.
us.
Yeah, I kind of like them to be matched up because when you were talking about the sweater
Yes.
and the sleeves, I knit Isla sweater. I think it was 2 years ago in one of those Karen cakes, and they have all the colors. And it was the same thing. It was the flax sweater I'd gotten to here, and I thought, well, my sleeves are going to have to match. So I rolled off some of the yarn so I had enough to do the sleeves the same as the body. But again, you were cutting and piecing to get it.
And that's just our OCD displaying rearing its ugly head.
But anyways, I do really like those. I do the pattern. You can't see it as much in a patterned yarn, but it's just a little simple knit and purl pattern, and it just gives you some interest in doing the sock. Plus, it's an easier way to count what you're doing, even though I still put the markers in for the number of rows. OCD. But anyway, so it might not get done for.
How many rows do you do? How many rows are in your foot and your leg? These are 10s? 10? No. You've missed
Yeah,
one
they're
hand.
10.
20, 30, 40, 50. So 60?
Well, I think
60-ish?
yeah, there in Croy because Croy's thicker.
Thicker.
I wouldn't, and I think I have about the same there. But in other socks for men's socks, which these are, in a thinner yarn, I would probably be 70 and 70.
70 and 70?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I have one sock finished as well. They're not going to be done by the end of January. I didn't bring a sock blocker though, but anyway.
Here, this one will be too big. It's a
It's a men's.
Yeah.
So this is, I'll just wear it like a sock puppet on my hand. This is the Don't Worry Bead Happy. I put it on the hand that has a watch, of course, that I can't. There we go.
That would make a pretty hand warmer with the beads in there.
There. It looks like a glove. So this is the Don't Worry Bead Happy sock. And as you can see, it has some beads in it. And this is my first time putting beads in a sock.
It's pretty.
I've never done this before, and I really, really like it. And the yarn that I'm using is Rose Hill Yarns, and this is the color Tidewater. And I know that this color is still available, even though I did buy this in August of last year, but I know that she still has some of these sets, and it's really pretty. And it's a sock pattern by Stone Knits. So I bought this pattern, and it's it has a little bit of color work at the toe, and then up here on either side of the beads, and then the pattern is pretty simple. It's just I'm trying to think what I did. It looks like a little bit of a broken seed stitch in there.
Was that in the pattern?
Yes.
This? Okay.
Yeah, that was in the pattern. The only pattern change I made is just because it's not a huge amount of contrast between the two colors. Like
yeah.
you can see it, but when you get up to here, this wasn't very much. And I think in the original pattern, it has only one row and then the alternating color and then one row of the contrast. But since it wasn't a high contrast, I did 2 rows just to get that contrast. But the yarn is really evenly dyed too.
It's pretty.
And it's really, really pretty. I think we gave this colorway away as a prize once in the sock sets. And it's so it is a sock set, so it's a half skein of the color and a mini skein. So
so it's 70 altogether,
grams
50 and 20,
of this. And I had measured once I finished the one sock, and I am I'm going to make the So that's
very pretty.
That's that. I was a little worried because normally your contrast, you would do a heel and a toe in the contrast, but because I was doing the toe in this, I wondered if I would have enough, but I finished the sock and I measured.
Even when you do some of that, if you were doing the whole cuff, like you've got less rows there than you would in your whole cuff if you did your whole cuff in it.
Yeah. And twisted rib. Did you notice? Twisted rib. My least favorite thing to do.
I know, but it looks so nice.
It's so pretty. It's such a pretty sock. Okay.
Okay, so, this must be my muscle bra. Yes. It's getting there. So this is the muscle bra hat by Isolde Teague. And mine is done mine is done in Lolo Did It, Super Sparkle, and this is the Pretty Little Zombies.
Pretty Little Zombies.
Colorway. And like her speckling is really nice too, like really even.
It's consistent, yes.
Yeah. So I think I've got about 32 grams left.
Okay.
So I've still got a bit to go because I'm going to do the full ball, and then you can just turn the brim up as much as you want. So lots of people have done this pattern. It starts off with the pinhole cast on, and then you go to a certain number of increases depending on your gauge. Then what I did, and I think you did the same, I weighed how much it took to do the increases.
Yes.
Right? And then I will knit until I have that much left to do the decreases.
Yes.
So.
And I'm doing the same hat. This is what we've been working on
in Knit Chat. Although you get more done at Knit Chat than me.
Endless knitting, and you just keep going. So this one is mine, and I'm using Knit Picks Static, and the colorway. Oh, I didn't even list it this time because I've talked about it so much at Knit Chat I wasn't going to show it, but it's called Quest.
Okay.
And they just had a sale.
Oh, did they?
On their static yarns. But this was from Stash because
there's always a sale. There's always a sale.
Always a sale. It doesn't matter what. But I really like this pattern that it makes. It's really nice.
It looks really good in the hat.
Yeah. Okay.
Actually, you know what? Some of the Croy yarns would probably look good in a.
They would, and you could probably go down a size too because they are a little bit thicker.
Yes.
But yeah, there would be some beautiful patterns. This is really soft too, so I'm thinking this is going to be a nice knit.
But it doesn't, like, I know that it's just straight knitting, but doesn't it seem like it's taking forever?
Yes. And it's only one skein of yarn.
I know, but I think it's because you get your increases done and then you're just knitting. You're not changing anything. You're just knitting. I don't know.
I carry this with me in the car, though, if I have to go somewhere, because 20 minutes of just straight knitting, you can get several rows done.
Yep. Oh yeah,
and
I
then,
take
like
it too.
I said, I don't really have to look at it. I can just keep knitting.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like I'm making progress.
Well,
At first I didn't.
know
I
I'm
felt like
making progress by weighing it, but I just feel like,
that song, this is the song.
Yeah, this is the hat that never ends.
This is the hat that never ends, and it's
So.
only a skein. It's just one hat.
Anyway, but Heather from Timber Yarns did
6.
Oh, I think more than that. I think like 9 or something.
Oh my god!
I cannot imagine. I seriously can't imagine doing that many.
It's the kind of hat that you wish you had a cranking machine for.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
But
yes. Okay. So my next whip.
get all your bags coordinated to your yarn.
Do. So this is another sock pattern.
This is such a pretty pattern.
So this is the Rusamine sock, and I was going to look at your notes, and I thought, no,
Nope,
not in
you
Kelly's
won't find
notes.
it there.
This is the Rusamine sock, and it's by Kaua Coffee. I don't know if I pronounced that right, but it's a free pattern on Ravelry, and it incorporates a technique called Roissitude, and it is an Estonian inlay technique. So all this,
See if I can get a little closer to the
okay,
camera.
all that color work in there is not knitted in. It's almost like it's woven in. So the pattern is actually very good and has really clear instructions on how to do it. And the main yarn is just held single, but then when you do this, it's a double strand of the yarn because it kind of has to go over and cover the stitches.
Mm-hmm.
So your chart actually looks like a regular stranded color work chart. But if you were doing stranded color work on a sock and you only wanted it here, you really can't, right? Because you're knitting in the round, so you'd have to carry that yarn all the way around to the next. But this technique allows you to pull the yarn, and it explains it really easily how to do it so that you can see the inside. You basically, every time you come around to an odd number row, you have to loop your yarn around and you work from a loop in front. Like, it sounds complicated, but it's not.
It's
you really
just
just need to read the instructions.
It almost looks like you've done needlepoint on your stocking stitch. Yeah.
Yep.
That's what it looks like, but it's really, really interesting.
So, like, it would be a wonderful way to use up, like, little bits that you've got left of your hand spun.
Yes.
Because it could go on the top part of your sock because it really doesn't take a whole lot of wear like the foot does.
That's right.
So it would be a really good way to use up a little bit that you've got left of some really special yarn that you just wanted to put in for something. And you could, like, I could see how you could easily make up all sorts of patterns using that technique.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so pretty. It's just such an interesting effect, and it's different. I mean,
it's different. I thought
I've
I want to try
even
something
heard of
different.
It. Yeah.
Well, I hadn't heard of it, and I was looking through all the socks that were done on our sock cal, and someone had a pattern, and it was a pattern by Summer Lee, and it just had like little tiny, it looked like butterflies, and they were done with that.
Oh, okay.
Yes. And so I thought, oh, what is that technique? I want to see. So then I just typed in the technique, and there was quite a few patterns came up. There's a beautiful sweater. Oh, I can't remember the name of it, but it's by the same designer that did Ranunculus, Midori Hiros.
Hiros, yes.
And I can't remember the name of it. I'll give you the name of the sweater pattern.
Okay.
But it's got that technique across the yoke with different colors.
It would even be pretty to go down like either side of a button band or down the like a sleeve.
Yes.
It would look really nice.
Yeah,
it's
so really,
pretty.
really cool technique. So as far as modifications to the pattern, I just did a mock cable cuff, and I think I'm going to do an afterthought heel, but probably just in the coral color. This yarn is Retrosaria Mondim, so it's 100% wool, Portuguese wool, non-superwash. This color is called Licha. I just call it coral.
Coral.
And this one is just their natural or their raw color. So Jacqueline, my daughter, actually gave me this as part of my Christmas present.
Really pretty.
So, and I really like the colors in this sock. So anyway, so the Croy sock got put away when I started this sock. But I will get back to them. Yes, and it matches my Tangled Stitch shop bag. perfectly.
Oh.
Okay. So do you have any more?
Excuse me. Yes, I do. I have a sweater.
Yes.
I said in Knit Chat last week, I'm going to cast on a sweater. So I held myself accountable and I cast on the sweater.
I know sometimes, but I thought I was gonna knit a lucky dip pair every month. I don't know if that's gonna happen.
Yeah, but I've been telling you for a month I was going to cast on a sweater, and every
that's
week
true.
a week would come and go, and then I'd find something else to do. And so when you say it to more than one person,
That's right.
somehow you have to
That's
hold
right.
yourself out for it. So I'm pretty much,
Oh,
I
that's so
think
pretty.
3 or 4 rows away from finishing the color work in the yoke. And this is the fern, well, it will be, someday it will be, the
That's pretty.
Fern and Feather by Jennifer Steingass. And
I like the rolled neck.
I love the rolled
Yeah.
neck on a sweater. I really, really do. So this is just kind of, you can see the whole, it's a pretty yoke. It's really pretty. And I am using the Barocco Remix that you picked up for me at Little Red Mitten.
Yep.
So this is the yarn, and this is the color Juniper, and then my contrast is Almond. And you only need one contrast.
Not even.
No, because I still have all
Yep.
of this left. I say it's maybe half.
Yep. Because
And
I
I'm
looked at that in the
pretty
one that
much
I did,
done.
and I had more than half of the contrast skein left.
Yeah, and this is it's an interesting yarn because there's no wool in it. It's nylon, cotton, acrylic, silk, and linen, and it is so soft. Like
Yeah,
think
it's like-
of your favorite sweatshirt.
Yep.
And it's is it an Aran weight? I can't remember, or worsted.
I think it's an Aran. I think they might class it as a worsted, but I think when you knit it up, it's because it says 17 stitches.
Right.
So I would say 17 stitches is an Aran.
An Aran weight, but I
Yeah.
think they do call it. I think
Well, I think
technically they
we
call it a worsted.
worsted.
Yeah, because it is a medium
Yeah.
4, right? But I think it tends a little bit more to the Aran weight. So and I did gauge swatch because this was a new to me
I did
yarn.
a lot of gauge swatches.
Yeah, I know.
Not gauge swatches, swatches.
Swatches, but I did gauge swatch just because it was a new to me yarn, and I'm really happy with it. And I know when you knit your sweater out of this, like you said, you were wearing it and you hadn't
Yep.
even blocked it. Like
Yep.
I don't even think I will block it, just because
Yeah.
I block. But
Well, I will when I wash it.
but honestly, like I don't know how much blocking is going to really improve that.
I know
it's
most of the
pretty
times I
even.
do, but like it was fine. So I just thought, well,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna wear it. Like most for wool, for sure, I always block it because wool kind of needs that blooming and. But
And there's only a few rows here in the pattern that I even caught floats on. Like here would be one right here. But other than that, the floats are not overly long.
no,
But on camera, it's really pretty even on
it
the
is.
back.
It is.
You sometimes
That's
can't
what- I
see
know,
the
I
pattern
know.
until you're looking on the camera.
Yeah.
But
There you go. That'll be our romper room
it
mirror.
looks like it's a romper room mirror. Yes, I see. It looks like a Christmas wreath at this point. But anyway, it's
Tree skirt. That would
A
make an
tree
awesome
skirt.
tree skirt.
It would.
Not that you would want it as a tree skirt, but that
No,
would
but
be a
it's-
good idea to make a tree skirt like that.
yeah, in this pattern because
Yeah.
it is kind of, it looks like trees,
Yep.
right? But anyway, so that's my sweater cast on.
Okay. So I also
You also have a sweater.
Yeah. Okay. I'm dropping. Okay. So this is the Peacock Solo by Lena Holm. I can't pronounce her name. It's Danish. Samsoy. She is Lunit on Ravelry. So this pattern is done in, it calls for, I think, a DK weight yarn. I used Holskarn Tides in the color Sea Lavender, and do I have one here? There it is. So the Holskarn Tide in the Sea Lavender, and Tides is 70% wool, 30% silk. And then this is the Drops Silk Mohair, and this color is light lavender.
And isn't that interesting how these are so different, and then when you put it together,
Yep.
you just get a beautiful blend.
So
Mohair changes everything.
it does. And so this
For the
sweater,
better, too.
yes, this sweater, it has got a high neck. I actually left out, there was another repeat in the neck, but I didn't want it up too high. So I left out one of the repeats. The back of the neck gets a couple little buttons to close it up. So then you'll still have this little keyhole opening here. And then I've done the first sleeve, and it's kind of, I did it.
A little bit of a balloon.
I did, but that's not, the pattern doesn't call for that, but I just thought that would look really nice with that yarn.
Oh, it's nice because that is a really snug cut.
Yes.
That is pretty.
Yes.
That is really going to be pretty to wear.
So, yeah, so I'm almost at the rib for the bottom. I wanted to kind of do my sleeves first because I had 4 skeins at the tide, but like I'm going to have lots because I'm not even into the 4th one yet. Mm-hmm. And I've still got this, I've still got that, and that one.
Yeah.
So I'll have lots. So the tides goes really far. I think we talked about this the other night on how many, there's 314 yards in a 50-gram cake. So, yeah, so I really like it. Again, these are why my socks kind of get put away. And there's an example of using the cord that we talked about. So this is just the pony bead lacing, and it's actually perfect cord to hold your sleeve till you're ready to go to the next
And it's not
sleeve.
going anywhere.
No.
Well, I guess it just
We'll
did
go a
move
little, but
bit.
it's not. So then all you have to do is put your needle end in there and then slide all your stitches back onto it when you get to the picking up the stitches for the sleeve.
I've actually got mine on that too.
Yeah.
And this is, even on this size of a needle, even though it's a tiny little cord, I was able to put it on, and it goes on.
It actually works better.
This is a 4.5 needle, I think. Is it a 4 needle? Sorry. But anyway, so that's how, like, my needle is all the way back here.
Yep.
So you can just see how it
Yep.
snugs on the tip, and it takes a lot to get that
Get
off.
it off.
Actually.
Yes, it does.
So
now the only thing that I found with it is if you're using less than a 3¼ millimeter needle, it's almost like the cord's too thick, because when you look at the diameter of
hold up the stitches. when
yeah.
you're trying to
So I
slide
find
them.
it works well from like 3¼ and up. I actually just found some more cording online that I ordered today. It's just a silicone tubing, but it's a 1.5 millimeter diameter.
Oh, okay.
So it's going to be smaller, so I'm hoping that it'll be perfect for using
the
smaller needles.
Okay.
Yep. And I got lots of it, so I'll just divide it up and give you some.
Perfect.
Okay, so my last whip, I'm doing a test knit.
I haven't seen this one in person yet. I was excited to see it.
Okay, so this is
Really pretty.
a test knit for Beth McDonald Stone. This pattern is called the Chalice Vine sweater. So I'm doing it in Holst Garn Super Soft. It's their bleached white colorway, and then the color that I'm using for the contrast is hand spun. And the hand spun, here it is. I only used like 30 grams of the hand spun. So here's the hand spun
It's
I've got
beautiful.
left. It's Lily and Pine, and it's 100% Corriedale.
Beautiful.
So I love it. I love the pattern. It just, and I can't put color work down until I've got the color work.
I know.
done.
I know.
And there's my Holst garn. So I barely used anything off the cone so far.
You're carrying this big
Oh,
corner.
but that's just because I was coming here. Because normally I just set the cone down on the ground beside
Yes.
me, and it's so easy
Yeah.
to knit off the cone.
So,
and that's
it's
gonna
got
bloom.
some details that you want to talk about inside too, right?
Yes.
Some
Oh
things
yeah,
that you're
that's
doing.
right. Okay, so there are a couple of places where there are fairly long floats. So I use the ladder back jacquard technique to catch them. So you can kind of see where it looks like those chains are going down. That's where my ladder back is. And that is actually fabric that is totally separate from the front of the garment. Mm-hmm. So it's just a way to catch them so that you're not pulling anything to the front of the garment.
Yeah. You can put your finger
Yeah,
right in
you can
behind
put your finger
them.
right in it. Like you can see there, you can put your finger right into that mesh. Like it's not attached to the garment at all. And then she had a really cute little technique at the start where you actually started with your contrast yarn, and then when you turn down the neck, you kind of knit it together. And I know it's
really
the
pretty.
inside, but it's a really cute
It's a nice little
technique.
detail.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep. So anyways, yeah, I can't put color work down once I start it. And this one has a really, I'm going to send Kelly some pictures of the pattern, but it's got a really pretty sleeve detail too. It's kind of a little bit puffed. and then it's got a little bit of a ruffle around the cuff, like it's got the tight cuff, but then a little bit of ruffle, and then the pattern in the ribbing down at the bottom. There's some detail in the ribbing down at the bottom too.
Yeah, I'll put the picture in. You sent.
Yeah, I sent you a
it through
picture,
to
and
me
hers
today.
looks totally different than mine because hers is a dark background.
Dark, yes.
With,
but it's so pretty. This is beautiful.
and it will, and that yarn will blossom and bloom up when. So even though, like right at the moment, the color work is kind of a little bit puckery. Once I block that and the whole yarn blooms, like that'll just fill in really nicely. But I
Very
do, I
nice.
do really like the colors in the.
Oh, me too. It's
So
really pretty.
yeah, I'm happy with it, and it's fun, like I said. But now I'm at the the boring part.
The
The
stockinette.
stockinette. Although I really like knitting with Holst. I love the feel of it in my hands, so I think it'll be okay. So
I think so.
I think so. I think it being okay in the fact that it won't take me forever to knit it. I had the test knit is supposed to be done by the end of February.
Oh,
So I have a whole month.
loads of
Whole
time.
month. And then I
Loads
think
of
the
time.
pattern is going to be out sometime in March.
It's pretty.
But I
So
did
pretty.
ask her and she was okay with sharing details about it. So
Good.
yep.
It's nice sometimes when the designers let you share what you're doing on the test knits, other than just having the test knitters do everything behind the scenes, because then you can sort of see things ahead of time. And
And if I see someone that's doing that and they're showing a pattern that I like I'll kind of mark that and say, okay, I want to see that
wait for
pattern
the
when
release.
it comes out. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But okay, that's it for active whips.
Active whips. No languishes here.
Well, there is, but they're not here.
Okay. Did you buy anything this month?
I might have.
Just a little.
Yeah, not that much. Well, no, maybe I did.
Okay. Well, we're going to show you some acquisitions then.
Okay. Okay.
Acquisitions. Well, you have more, so I'll let you start.
Okay. Okay. So
I have
a couple of these things were Christmas gifts. So I already showed you the Mondim that I got from Jacqueline. So then my daughter-in-law and son got me this. So this is, hold it up there, right? This is Kiviot. It's a blend. There is, where is it? 15% Kiviot, 80% extra fine merino, and 5% mulberry silk. And it just feels like,
It's the softest thing you've ever felt. That's what it is.
and it doesn't feel like
It's
butter.
not like butter. It's just super soft.
So this is a lace weight,
So pretty.
28.5 grams. There's 217 yards in each one. But I found a couple of patterns. I think I found a pattern for some hand warmers and then a little cowl, and one skein of each will do them. So I think I might do the matching set of the hand warmers and the cowl. That would feel amazing around your neck.
It would. And this
So-
is Canadian too.
It is. It's from Alberta. Does it say Banff?
Banff. Yes.
Yep. Jacques Cartier Clothier Incorporated. But the company actually where Rachel got this from is called Windy Valley Fibers or Windy Valley Muskox. I'll put it in the show notes.
It's so soft.
And that color is, I seem to be like really on a purpley tinge lately, getting away
Well, no,
from
this
the
is-
pinks and
this
more
is
in
pink,
It's
though.
purpley pink.
Purpley pink.
So
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
okay, and then this is yarn that Kelly got me. So this is so we can do matching socks.
Yes.
So this is Puzzle Tree Yarns. Whoops. Superwash Merino with nylon. This color is called Washi. It's such a pretty color. It's just the pale aqua with all sorts of little speckles in it. It's got purple and yellow and it kind of looks a little bit like the Pretty Little Zombies one, except for a base of the
Of an aqua,
of the
yeah.
aqua. Yeah, it's really pretty. And then we've got some Knit Pick Stroll in that
For heels
color
and toes.
because it picks up the purple color in it for heels and toes. Mm-hmm. I could do the beaded socks with that.
You could do the beaded socks.
Yeah.
Actually, that would look really
I
nice with
know.
that. Oh, and look here. You could have these beads.
Perfect. That would look amazing.
I got these beads. I didn't know what I was going to do with them. I just got some, but There you go. Tuck these in the bag too.
Yeah, thanks. Well, you got to take some to do, and you could do matching ones.
Well, you'll have yours
I'll have
done
lots
before
of
me.
beads left.
Yeah, there'll be lots of beads left in there.
Yeah, so thanks, Kelly. Very pretty. Okay, here we go.
Okay, I go. My friend Noelle got me for Christmas from Pearl Soho the linen quill. Look at these colors. Look at these colors. Do we have a name on here?
That one I'm pretty sure is called Stillwater.
And this one I can't remember. Oh, here we go. Turmeric.
Okay.
Turmeric yellow. And let's see if it's
I'm pretty sure it's Stillwater.
Stillwater blue.
Oh, Stillwater
now
blue.
it's called a blue,
But it's gray.
It's definitely gray. Probably if you put it with something blue, it might look more blue, but look at these colors. And this is for, this might be a little noisy. Sorry. The half triangle, is it half triangle? Half square. Oh gosh.
Half triangle?
Half triangle?
The one that everybody's doing.
It's
half
for
and
this
half
wrap.
triangle.
Half and half triangle. There we go. It's for this one. And so this, after I'm done the Musselburgh, this will be the new Knit Chat project. So you start out small stitches.
Yep.
You work your way out, and then you
Change
join
colors.
your next color, and then you work your way
in.
back. So you probably get a little bit excited at the beginning because you're seeing something happen, and then you have the drone of this is never going to end. But once you reach the
into the other
halfway
color.
mark, then you know that every row is going to be shorter, and then you bind off. So the biggest decision of this will be, do I
What to start
cast
with
this
that.
one on first or this one on first? I don't know, but I'm looking so forward. It's a huge wrap.
That's almost the color that's in your...
Yeah, almost the color, yeah. But it's, to me, this will be the perfect travel shawl.
Yeah.
Because it's
lightweight.
almost like a blanket, and the drape on this, because the content is 50% fine Highland wool, 35% alpaca, and 15% linen. And the drape on this garment, and I know this because I've seen somebody else's, and I
Yeah.
was in lust with it. So it's beautiful. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I can't wait.
I know I have some to do one too. Mine are 2 shades of pink.
2 shades of pink.
So we'll see. I don't want to get it started because I know it's going to be a big project. So I want to wait till I want some of these things finished that I've got on the go. So, okay. So my next acquisition, I've talked about on Knit Chat. I was doing swatches for Leo and Roxy. So I ended up doing 46 6-inch swatches and 46 4-inch swatches. So I dropped them all off this week. And of course, I went to Little Red Mitten. So of course, I don't think I ever go there and come home with nothing.
No, you can't.
No.
You
So
can't.
recently they started carrying fiber. Well, more fiber. They've always had a little bit, but they've had more fiber in there. So I actually picked up this.
Which is stunning.
So this is by Crafty Jacks, and this is a dyer out in BC, I think. It's Crafty Jacks Boutique. It says Eclectic Creations Made with Love. And I will put the information in the show notes, but this is called Summer's Delight is the colorway. And it is South American, and then it's viscose neps in it. So it's a tweed. Now, I've not spun a tweed before, but we'll see how it goes. But that color is, I just fell in love with the colors. And then I picked out this cone of Holst Super Soft, and that color is called Pussy Willow, and I think that'll set off those colors perfectly.
I think so too.
So,
You don't have a pattern yet, though.
no, a pattern.
What's a pattern? This is pretty.
I really like that.
This is it's really similar to that too.
Yeah.
It's that in between a beige and a
And-
full
yep.
and a true taupe, right? So again, it's that color that absolutely everything will go with.
Yep. Yeah, I
That's
mean,
gonna
I
be
do. I think
gorgeous.
that's going to look really nice in it. So I'm really happy
Absolutely.
with that. And
I
then
can't wait to see this spun up.
I know I've got something on the wheel that I have to finish first, and then I might go to that. So they also had, I picked up this book. So this is called Unbraided. It is actually by Katrina Stewart, who is part of this,
Oh, okay.
Crafty Jacks. So it's basically a book about the art and science of spinning color. So she goes through a lot of things like how to lay out your braid, shows all the different ways that you can actually process the singles, or I just want to show some things in here on how it will turn out depending on which way you spin it. And then it kind of gives you ideas of different, you know, if you've got a braid that's kind of monochromatic, or if you've got a braid that's like all different colors.
Okay.
So it gives you an idea on how to lay them out, different plies that you can use, different spinning techniques like fractal, how to divide it up for a fractal spin. So I just thought, like, you know, I don't really know a whole lot about spinning, so it'd be kind of nice to go through that, because I know I've been lucky so far that what I've spun has turned out color-wise okay.
Right.
But I'm not really, don't have any process where I'm saying I know that this is going to do this.
Just diving in.
Yeah. So we'll see. So I'm going to go through that, and hopefully that'll help me figure out some of the more colorful braids and how to spin them so they look like what I want them to look like.
Good.
So.
Good. Okay, I have a couple more things. I have wanted to get this for a long time.
It's so pretty.
Just feel this. Feel the soft. This is the Home Bulky Twist by Barrett Wool Co.
Oh, that feels amazing.
Susan B. Anthony. Anderson.
Anderson. It's Anderson.
Where did Anthony come from? Susan B. Everybody knows her and loves her as Susan B. Anyway, I have wanted this for a long time. So this is a bulky yarn, and the intention for this is to make the Waves of Change cardigan.
Ooh.
And I'm really looking forward to it.
Oh, that feels amazing.
It's so soft. So I bought the sweater quantity, and then I think I did buy an extra skein as well, because she also has a mitten pattern for this. And then I have some chunky left in a nice burgundy color, and I thought it would be pretty to just sort of put some stripes into it. But this is unbelievably soft, and it's
non-superwash.
Non-superwash, yes.
It doesn't say, I thought, it just says here, American wool.
Mm-hmm. But unbelievably soft.
It is. Feels amazing.
Squish, squish. So that was that.
Okay.
And
my last acquisition is this book, Knit Like a Norwegian. I actually saw it on the Woolly Thistle Shopcast, and I just thought some of the patterns looked really interesting. There's kind of a mix of
that one's nice.
Like more traditional, and then I love all of it. The mittens, I don't want to show a pattern there, but the mittens.
Oh my goodness.
I know, isn't
That's
it? I like
gorgeous.
this one. So that's the one that I like.
So pretty.
And it's just kind of got like a lace flounce
almost a
down
little
at the bottom. Yeah. So I really want to do that one. And yeah, there's quite a few patterns in it. There's different designers. It's Arnon Carlos, Carrie Hesnes, Berger, Benta Presterode, Linda Marving, and Iceland Halfseld. I'm sure I butchered all those names, but there's some examples on the back of some of the patterns that are in there.
Beautiful.
They are, and there's hats, there's cowls, there's sweaters, there's cable work sweaters as well as colorwork sweaters. And I just thought some of them looked interesting, like different techniques that I haven't done before, and I think a lot of it will work with a lot of the Holsgarn.
I love the sweater
yarn
on the front cover. Mm-hmm. Actually, I think she's got a cowl on. I thought
she
it was
does.
a sweater. But
that's kind of nice, because if the
too.
cowl's separate, then if you get too hot, you can take the cowl off.
Yeah.
Whereas if you knit a great big turtleneck sweater and you're too hot, you have to take the whole sweater off.
And there's socks in here too. And beautiful, beautiful book. Beautiful.
So I know I said I wasn't going to buy yarn, but I didn't say anything about books.
You didn't say anything about books.
And I bought yarn.
The last thing that I have, I just picked these up from Wool Warehouse when they were on sale, along with the colors that I got for the little Dino. This was just two more colors that I thought looked nice together. Of the Drops Alpaca, I thought to do some colorwork mittens. I think, didn't you do some hand warmers last year?
Yep, and it didn't even take one ball to do them.
I have I grabbed this one too. I don't know why I grabbed this color. I think maybe to go with something else I have, but I really like these two colors together. I thought they were pretty, and this is just unbelievably soft. Is it pilly though, given that it's alpaca?
I mean, I did hand warmers and I gave them to my mom, but I've seen them and she's worn them and they don't look like they've all pilled up.
Oh, okay. They're so soft.
So now I think the alpaca is better if you knit it at a tighter gauge.
Yes.
Than a looser gauge.
Yes.
So, yeah, they're pretty colors. I've got some of that in my stash too that I should use up. I might in the smash your stash.
Smash that stash. Yes.
So.
Okay. Well,
I think that's it.
That's it. That's a wrap.
That's a wrap.
It's a wrap. Well, it had been a while, right?
It had been a while. And I mean, some of these acquisitions are Christmas acquisitions, right?
We don't have to justify. We like yarn, and we're not afraid to say
I
so.
like yarn.
We like yarn.
Yeah.
And
but I am gonna try and knit some stuff from my stash. I mean, that sweater, the test knit sweater, that was all stuff that I had before 2021. So was the other one. So was the other sweater. So I don't think I've started knitting with any yarn that I bought in 2022 yet.
So. We are 28 days into it.
Yep.
I haven't. I want to finish up some projects.
Yeah,
first,
I want to. There's so many things that I want to cast on, but I really want to get some things finished first. Like I don't usually worry about whips, but I don't like having too many.
I got everything done around Christmas, and then I went into like whip withdrawal. I'm like, I've got nothing on needles. I have to cast on all the things. And then I didn't though, but I felt like, I should cast on this. I should cast on this. But I held it down. Well,
I normally do have sweaters on the go. And then I think for all of December, I pretty much was just knitting. Well, I was knitting those dresses and I was knitting socks and finishing up things for Christmas and doing some weaving. So I really felt like I wanted to get back in the sweater. And I didn't bring it, but I did actually steek my Yell cardigan by Marie Wallen. I didn't bring it because that's all I've done. I steeked the front and I steeked the armholes, but I haven't picked up stitches for the rest of the pieces yet. But I was glad that I did that, and I did it using a needle felter. So I had you get this little mat thing. It looks like a brush, and you put your fabric down on top of it, and you take the little needle felting pen. It's got like 7 needles or something in it, and you just go up and down till you pull it off the little brush thing, and it's all felted on the bottom where you put.
Do they have little like tiny barbs on the bottom? Okay.
Yep. Yeah. So once I cut it and I tried it on, I wouldn't have any choice if it didn't fit because I'd already cut it.
You already cut it.
But it did fit fine, and so I've just got to get back in. And it's not the knitting that I don't want to do. I don't like picking up stitches.
Right.
So, and I'm picking it up on a dark gray, so it's got to be at the right light to pick it up. But I do have to do that. But because I also adjusted the length and different things in the cardigan, I've also got to adjust my stitch count. So I've got to do some math to figure that out.
Sometimes I get stuck on that too. It's like that headspace that a project needs. And it was even that way with that tiny sweater I made. I whipped up the sweater and put it on to the cords for the sleeves in no time. Like that was done. And then in my mind, I knew I had to play around with that yarn and do some yarn management and figure that out. And I just kept thinking, I don't have the attention span to do that right now. I'll just pick up.
Well, that's right. You just
the socks are here and they're easy, and I can just keep going. And then I think I'll do it tomorrow. And then tomorrow would come, and something else would come up, and I'm like, I can't be bothered to figure that out now. So the little sweater sat on hold.
Yep.
And once I figured it out, I mean, each sleeve took maybe 40 minutes to knit, and then it was done.
Well, that's right.
But
and once
I held on to it for a couple of
out
weeks.
The stitch counts, it's all color work, and I love doing color work. So once I pick up the stitches, it will be like...
Yeah, I know. It's the things that we procrastinate on, right? You just put it aside. So, but anyway, it's behind us now.
Okay.
And... so we will probably be back in about 3 weeks with another episode.
Yep. And we want to thank everybody for tuning in to us. for watching. For anybody new, welcome. We love that you interact with us, and we have so much fun doing this, and so much fun on Tuesday nights at Knit Chat.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So if you're new here and you found us, we're happy that you found us.
Yes.
And if you haven't yet, please subscribe or give the video a like. That really helps grow the channel. And by growing the channel, that means we can get more things out to all of you too, and share more goodies. So yeah, I think that's
it for this
that's
episode.
it. It's been busy. It has been busy.
It has been. I can't believe that we're at the end of January.
I know, but my January went quick too. I had my family here visiting from BC, and that was really fun, and the house was really full. It was busy time, and it seemed so quiet when they left, when there was no little baby sounds happening. I didn't like it. But
so
anyway, that's good.
Yeah. Okay, so take care, everybody, and happy knitting.
Happy knitting. Always a clown. Always a clown. Here, maybe I'll do this. Several.
Okay. Okay. You start. Who are you? This is